Greetings, everyone. I'm John Murphy, and today I'm going to talk about another set of components in the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. In earlier videos, I've talked about this wonderful tool on understanding personality differences among us. It's great for leadership development, and teamwork, family, career counseling. It's just a wonderful tool for so many things. In an earlier video, I talked about the difference between perceiving and judging. We all take in information each day and we all draw conclusions. We look in the closet at what to wear, we choose something. We look in the refrigerator or the cupboard for something to eat and we choose something. So we're perceiving and judging every day. Some people prefer more to perceive longer and just keep that open, keep their options open. Others make a decision and make it quickly and stick with it, the judging. So today we're just going to take the perceiving component. I'll come back to the judging component in another video and look at the different ways that we choose. But today we're going to take a look at the different way that we see the world, the way that we perceive. So whether you're a dominant perceiving type or a dominant judging type where perceiving is less dominant, it doesn't matter. We all perceive. Now what's interesting here is that when we perceive differently. In fact, of all the different categories that the Myers-Briggs clarifies, some of the most conflict comes from this category because we see things so differently. So we see things through the sensing, which is represented by the letter S in the Myers-Briggs, and through the intuition, which is represented by the letter N. So the sensing type, the person that's more dominant S, trusts the five senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. If I can see it, I believe it. If I can taste it and touch it and smell it, it must be real. Okay? So stop and smell the roses is a statement we'd often hear from the sensing type. Okay? Rely on the senses. Trust the senses. Enjoy the senses. The intuitive trusts the sixth sense. It isn't that the intuitive doesn't accept and understand the five senses. Again, we're all both. But the sixth sense, so when somebody says stop and smell the roses, for the intuitive that might mean, okay, I'm smelling this rose and now my mind is thinking about a date that I went on 20 years ago. And I'm no longer smelling the rose, I'm in another world. So the intuitives are often misunderstood because the mind leaps so quickly from one thing to another in the intuition. So where the sensing type looks at content and what is here and now, the intuitive is thinking more in terms of context. What does the data mean? All right, what is the meaning in all of this? So again, two very different ways to look at things. I like to give this example in some of my workshops. Two people go out to look at a house together. They're house hunting. And the intuitive comes home one day saying, I found the perfect house. You've got to see this. So they go out and they take a look at this house, and it's a 100-year-old, broken down Victorian farmhouse. And the intuitive is saying, isn't it beautiful? Look at it. Now the sensing type, you can imagine, relying on the immediate senses, is looking at a fixer-upper at the very least, and all the work that has to go into it, and step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The intuitive's looking at step 10. The intuitive's looking at the finished product. It's the visionary. I see it finished. It's beautiful. Look at the character. Look at the personality of the house. All right. It's the intuitive that says read between the lines. What's between the lines? Or you don't see the forest for the trees. All you see are the trees. So there's a lot of common statements, sometimes even insults, that come from this category where we're looking at things so differently. It's just, it's amazing that we can be looking at the same thing and seeing something so different. Now, when it comes to solving problems, we need to get the facts and the data and get grounded in reality. The sensing type is perfectly helpful in this case, patient with details, patient with specifics, where the intuitive may have trouble being patient with data and specifics. But the intuitive is very patient with ideas and brainstorming, where the sensing type might want to just move on and get things done. The intuitive is exploring alternatives and options and a lot of creative ideas. So again, it's a brilliant balance. We're all both. One dominates more than the other. So it's a very good idea to know what is my dominant type. How can I offset it so that I make sure I don't lock my keys in the car like an intuitive might, all right, or that I don't paint myself into a corner like a sensing type might. That we find the right balance, we find the right teammates and leadership team members for our team to counter any limitations we might naturally have. It's a brilliant use of the Myers-Briggs. Take a look and see, are you more dominant sensing? Are you more dominant intuitive? And how can I use this to my fullest advantage? More to come. Stay tuned. I'm John Murphy. I'm here to help. God bless.